Okay, now it's time to talk about our weapons and combats. Little bit more, and right now we have this one rifle. But what if we want to have a multiple weapons? For example, to free or something like that. And well, let's see. I will teach you how to add different kind of weapons. So let's go in the low poly, not low poly. We have the SCIFIA weapons pack where we have models. And where we have pistol as well. So let's add this pistol into the game. So let's go in scene wheel. And let's drop this pistol somewhere here. Let's hit F to zoom in. Okay, let's make Y rotation to be 180. And now for a moment I will deactivate my rifle. So let's go in the player and rifle. And let's uncheck this one. And instead I will just drag my pistol there. But before we do that, let's unpack this pistol from the prefab. And we will talk about prefabs very shortly when we will create our own prefab. But for now, let's just right-click on the pistol and prefab. And unpack completely okay. Now let's drag this pistol into the player wheel point. We are storing our rifle. Now we are storing pistol as well. And now position this pistol. We should position it better. Let's click F. We should try to position this pistol at the same position as our rifle was, so let's just activate this rifle. Let's drop this pistol down, okay. A bit forward right. And let's now deactivate this rifle again. Let's go in game, let's check. Well, our pistol is not seen, so I will just drag it not deep. I will drag this pistol little bit forward, okay. Even a little bit forward, okay. And even a little bit forward, I guess, okay. Now we are able to see the pistol. Let's now activate rifle to check, yeah. They have probably about same position. But the pistol is little bit on the right side. I think, or not so it's like this. Let's deactivate rifle. Let's go in game wheel now. We basically hit play. Everything will still work with a pistol because our shooting mechanic is on the player. And since we positioned this pistol at the same, about approximately same position as our rifle was, you see the shooting is also working fine. And positive fire point is also looking fine. Because our fire point right now is attached to the... Well, where is our fire point actually? It's in the rifle. And since we have the pistol in the same position, our fire position looks fine for the pistol as well. Obviously, we can take this pistol even farther. A little bit forward, but doesn't really matter. If you want, you can do it. So let's take this pistol little bit forward. Just like this, okay. Anyway, now we have two guns. A rifle and pistol, and we need some way to activate and deactivate these pistols. Most obvious would be to basically have this mechanic on the mouse scroll. Because it's just most often used thing. So if we go in edit project settings, you remember we have the input manager with an axis. And well, it has different buttons and axis. And also it has this mouse scroll wheel. Information about mouse. It means that we can access this input mouse scroll wheel. The Unity will know what to do when we scroll our mouse. Now let's create C# script. So let's go in scripts folder. Let's create script, and I already have script. I called it weapons. And I will assign the script into the player. So let's drag and drop this script into the player. Hello, let's double click to open in Visual Studio. Now, first of all, we will need reference to our weapons. And since we have multiple ones, we will create the least so area of the weapons. So we can say public game object. Then erase sign and let's call this one weapons. So yeah. And also we will need index to control which way upon. We are referring to so privates. Int current way upon index. And let's make it by default to be 0 because we won't. We will start from the rifle, and rifle will be element O. When we add the way, opposed to this list of game objects. Well, after that what we want to do? Well, we want to get reference to. Get input information about mouse. Crawl wheel and we will do it in the update. So we will create one float, which will store information about our input. Let's call this one scroll input. Okay, and well, it will be cool to input dots, get access and brackets and quotation marks. We should say mouse a scroll a wheel. But be careful and type this one correctly, just like you see here. With the lowercase and capital letters as well. Otherwise, it will not work obviously since it's the input okay. Now that we have information about our input, we can simply say that if scrolling puts is greater than 0, it means that we are going up with our scroll. So we are scrolling up. And also it means that we should change the way upon and it also means that we should increase the current way upon index and we should add one. For example, if it was 0, we should add one. So we will say cool it way up on index plus plus. First of all. Then after that we will check if our current way up on index is greater or equal to the way up on dot's length. And right. It means that we reached maximum amount. For example, in our case, we have 2 guns right now. And when we are in the second gun, and when we scroll up again, we want to go back to our rifle. Back to our index 0. So we will say here current way upon index equals 0. Just like this and after these if statements. We should basically switch our gun. And we don't have the function for switching our gun. So let's just for now say switch. Way up on switch. Okay, and in brackets, we should say current. We are upon index. And that's pretty much it. And now let's create the switched. We are from function outside of the update obviously. We will create function avoid sweet index. We are pawn just like this. And since we passed this current we are pawn index, this function also will need some placeholder. So we will create index, int integer with the name of index. Now this red line should go when I type this correctly and then switch to earphone. Okay. Let's open and close call the brackets here as well. Now what should happen here? Basically, we should deactivate guns and then activate our specific gun that we want. So for that we will use for each loop. And well, we can say here game object. We are pun. Let's call this one we are pun in we are punts. So we will check our guns. And we will store information about them in this we are put container and we can say we are put start set active equals false. So we will deactivate and disable all of our weapons. And after that, we should enable our specific weapon that we want, that we have. So we can say we opens and in the list sign, we will say index. So we will check index and we will activate that index. So we will activate that specific gun. Set active equals false, and this method will work. Now we should do same with the scroll down, because we can also scroll down. So after our if statement, we will add LCF statement. And in the LCF statement, we will say a scroll input is less than 2 o'clock. So, well, we will add F here as well since they might be floats. Okay, now in this case, we are scrolling down. It means that our current way upon index should decrease. So if we are in pistol, we should go back to rifle right. Also, we will check again if our current we upon index is less than 0. What should happen? Okay, well, it means that we are just scrolling down. So it means that we can take our current way upon index, and we can make it equal to way upons adult length -1. In order everything to work correct, and after that, well, we will obviously call the switch. We have function again in order everything to work. And that's pretty much it. It might be a little bit confusing at first, and try to write it correctly, otherwise it will not work. Because we have a lot of use statements. So be careful. These brackets are opening and closing. And yeah, I will show you once again so that you see full script better. So what we are doing, we are just getting information about our input, and we are just checking if we are scrolling up or down, and in either of cases. Now, when we are doing that, index should change. Index should increase, and also our other way upon should be disabled, and only way upon that we want, only way upon that. Now, with right index should be activated at that time. Now, let's save the script, and I will show you what indexes we are talking about at all, okay? So you will understand better. So let's go back and let's select the player. Cause player is handling our way up on script. Let's scroll down. And you see we have this way up on which says 2. Which is 0 right now, because we should add our rifle. So let's drag rifle into this. We are puns and pistol as well, as you can see. And now we have to, if we select this drop down, we have a rifle and pistol. You see they have these elements numbers. Elements 0 and 1, they are just indexes. And these indexes are what we are talking about in the script. So by default, I will select pistol and I will deactivate pistol. And I will activate the rifle. So we will start our game with a rifle, but we will have pistol, which should be activated when we scroll our mouse either up or down. So let's test this. Let's quickly kill this, okay? Okay, now let's. And as you see, when I scroll up and down, our way up on C is changing and 1 is deactivating. 1 is activating, we can scroll down as well. Obviously, you can only do it in the scroll up, and just ignore the scroll down. So without these LC statements if you want, but yeah, I like to have both of those mechanics. Scroll up and scroll down, and that's pretty much it. How we can add different whippers. Now, you can add as much whippers as you like. Just make sure to add them in the player. We will point position them correctly. At the same position as our rifle is right now. And also just don't forget to drop them into these. We are puns, so they will be part of the our play your moral, okay? That's pretty much it, and see you in the next video. Bye. I'll end this video over here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any new videos. See you in the next videos.